Historically, those who sell sex have been the target of the law. But now, rather than prostitutes facing prosecution, MPs are calling for pimps and punters to face jail. Supporters of criminalisation say prostitution is symbolic of inequality and discrimination. But opponents claim it would make it harder for women to protect themselves. In a moment, we'll debate the issue with a former sex worker and a politician. But first, Kieran Jenkins has this, and a warning: his report contains flash photography from the start.
Just leave whoever's with those women in there. Ryan with the enforcer.
This is a raid on Soho's red light district last December. A number of premises were shut down. The women they found inside led away.
Britain's sex laws mean that at present it's far more likely that prostitutes will be prosecuted than their clients. There are growing calls now, though, to reverse that. In other words, to make the selling of sex legal, to make the buying of sex a criminal offence.
This is one of the flats in Soho. It's where a sex worker and a maid are working.
Our current laws are far from straightforward. This brothel was closed by police in the raids before Christmas. Thanks to a campaign group for prostitutes, it's now fully reopened.
It's much safer to work in Soho than anywhere else.
Not surprisingly, they're fervently against criminalising men who pay for sex.
By cracking down on prostitution and by criminalising it, all that you do is force it underground and you force sex workers into greater danger. On the street, what happens is that it breaks up women's safety networks and forces women to work in more isolated areas.
Niki's been a sex worker for over 25 years. She's asked not to be identified.
People seem to think that, you know, oh, she's a working girl. There's thousands and thousands of pounds in it. But no, I make a nominal living.
She says changing the law will not change behaviour.
I don't think the majority of guys would pay attention. I think part of seeing a lady is the risk taking. You know, they're married. Some of the clients that I've got are older. You know, they love their wives. But the intimacy side of that relationship, as the wives age, they are unable to fulfil their sexual requirements.
Niki tells me many of her clients are severely disabled. What sense, she asks, would there be in prosecuting them? We spoke to one man who uses prostitutes and has cerebral palsy. He said this:
to all the people who say disabled people shouldn't pay for sex, regardless of gender, I would ask, would you be willing to have a partner who was disabled, or invite them to come and spend some time in my boots and see how painful and frustrating a sexless life really is?
There are websites where men who buy women in prostitution can go onto the website, and it's a bit like an Amazon book review.
The popularity of online escort directories is, if anything, making prostitution even more difficult to police. Groups like this, which support exploited women, say a clampdown on those who pay for sex is now long overdue.
Our issue here is that we should be shaping our society for the people who are the most vulnerable, for the people who are the most exploited. And so the direction of our legislation, our policy and our vision for society should be about protecting the most vulnerable.
Those in favour of it say it's right to prosecute men who treat women as a commodity. What do you say?
I don't have any client treat me like a commodity. All my clients have to show me 100% respect. In return, I show them respect.
One thing Niki's sure of: whether you criminalise her clients or not, prostitution will not go away.